And it was gone. An alien captain, with perhaps a wife and family, a member of a race that was just protecting their borders from what it saw as an act of aggression. Yes, perhaps it shouldn't have fired on us, but perhaps the Nevermore shouldn't have gone around blithely making holes in space near other people's star systems. Even though it tried to kill us, I can't say I really blame it. Grandfather turned to Rostrum.
"Now do you understand?" he hissed. "What you are doing is not only dangerous for the fabric of the universe, but it is also inflammatory for the races that live here. Did you ask their permission before you sailed into their space and started modifying it for your own purposes? Did you?"
Rostrum was silent for a few moments. Eventually, its huge bulk shifted uncomfortably.
"We assumed they would be grateful," it muttered. "Making navigation simpler for everyone is surely a generous act."
"Not if you haven't thought it through properly," Grandfather insisted. "Acts of charity are rarely welcomed."
Ian stepped forward.
"I don't understand," he said. "What happened out there?"
Grandfather turned to him, and this time his demeanor was neither patronizing nor aggressive. It was as deeply worried as I had ever seen it.
"That," he said simply, "was the fabric, the very structure of space being pulled apart. The actions of Captain Rostrum here in punching holes into space were the catalyst, and the explosion of that first flurry of missiles was the direct cause. Space just frayed apart, starting at the most recent benchmark and probably running 1/10 of a light year all the way to the last one."
"And will it stop here?" Ian said. His tone of voice indicated that he didn't believe it. "Can this area just be, I don't know, cordoned off or something?" Grandfather shook his head, his white hair moving gently around his face.
"Any small disturbance might cause another rip between two other holes. The problem will escalate, dear boy, with more and more rips forming until a whole section of space just detaches and floats away, leaving them to feed at their leisure."
"And we are drifting," Rostrum added. "Our engines are damaged. I might be able to repair them, but we are drifting towards that fissure."
Grandfather beckoned me to one side. We moved away from Ian and Barbara, and he took me by the arm.
"There is one possible solution, my dear," he said quietly. "I might be able to use the immense power of the TARDIS's time engines to heal the fissure. The problem is that I think it will destroy the TARDIS. Yes, I really do. We would be left here without a means of transport, stuck in one time, in one place, forever."
"But we would have saved the universe," I said.
"Yes,"
he said, and I could tell that he was weighing the pros and cons in his mind. He really could be quite selfish at times. Grandfather and Captain Rostrum started to bicker then. The captain seemed reluctant to accept any responsibility for what had happened, and I can't say I blame him. It's not every day you get told you just destroyed the universe. Ian tried to be his usual logical, analytical self, and Barbara tried to act as peacemaker. I decided that I would be more use asking the crewman I'd seen before whether he thought the engines could be repaired, so I wandered off to find him. Eventually, I found myself in an area of the ship which I hadn't seen before. Large power cables fed into spherical tanks the size of a small asteroid. Rostrum's leaves and vines were all dead or dying here as well. And I began to wonder just how widespread and how serious this disease was.